So, just thought I would show you guys some finds. I got this book, Ice Cool, and it tells you how to make ice cream by hand. Or by machine. If you have a machine, it gives both recipes, which I think is pretty cool. I've wanted to get an ice cream machine for a long time, and I never did. If you can make it by hand, I'd like to try to do it like the Victorian way. You know, how they did it with salt and ice. Anyways, some nice gooseberry and clotted cream. That sounds delicious. Looks pretty dang good. Anyway, so you know what some videos are going to be coming up of. And then I found this one. Caesar Milan. I wanted to get some of his books for a while too, but books are so expensive these days. You have to really choose. And right on cue, Naughty Puppy. This should come in handy. I'm going to be making some ice cream and doing a review on this Cuisinart frozen yogurt ice cream and sorbet maker. These guys go for about 80 bucks at Canadian Tire. You can also get them at Best Buy. I think in the States they're cheaper. But I highly suggest you look for them in thrift stores or even online on the classifieds, because most of the time people use these machines a couple of times and then they find it's too much of a hassle, and it's just one of those things that just ends up in their cupboards. So that's what I did. So I'm going to test it out. So this particular model comes with 2 buckets, and you put them in the freezer and get them to freeze several hours before you're going to be making your ice cream. So this is a blade attachment that goes in. It's actually the whole bowl that turns around, and this just sort of sits in the center while the bowl spins. And it's plastic. Just one other thing I was going to mention, Canadian Tire, if you get it there, apparently they have a 3-year warranty on these. Or maybe that's with Cuisinart, I'm not sure. But I think if they're willing to give a warranty that long, chances are that a used one would be fine, considering most people probably don't use this all the time. You'd probably be getting a really good deal. Now this is a lid for it. It's got a hole, an opening in the middle, I guess, so you can pour in ingredients while it's turning around. So I'm going to use a recipe called Coconut Ice out of that Ice Cool book. And you need water, sugar, limes, coconut milk, and coconut shavings to do it. Here's another book that was given to me, 125 Best Ice Cream Recipes. First thing you do is you put in 2/3 a cup of water, bring it to a boil, and then put in 1/2 a cup of caster sugar, and then just dissolve the sugar and then take off the heat. Next, you zest 2 limes and squeeze out the juice and put it into the chilled syrup that you just made. Okay, so I kept the syrup in the fridge. I actually put the lime in it while it was cooling. And now I'm going to add in the coconut milk. And I put the bowl it's been in there for 5.5 hours. I'm going to put in the paddle. The lid locks into place. And I'll pour the ingredients in through the top. And now I will press the button. So it's spinning the bowl. And so the bowl is spinning, the paddle is turning. And I don't know if there's a timer on this or what happens, or if you have to just keep checking back. But I'm going to set the timer on the oven, and I'm going to check back every 5 minutes to see what happens with this. After 5 minutes, it's still definitely liquidy, so I'm going to keep it going for another 5 minutes. So after 10 minutes, you can see it's getting a little bit thick. Now it could be I didn't have this bowl cold enough. But, because all the reviews I read said that the ice cream within 15 minutes was usually done. So we'll give it another 5 minutes to see if it matches the reviews. Okay, so I'm going to actually, can't find the cling wrap, so I'm putting a plastic bag over it. The whole thing's going in the freezer. It could be my fault because I didn't wait, like 7 hours or overnight or whatever. So I'm just going to pop it in, and then maybe before I go to sleep, I will give it another spin on the machine here and see what happens. Here's the freezer. Now I've heard if you have a problem with your ice cream maker, it could be the settings of your freezer, and you might have to play around with it to get it right. So that could be it as well. But I won't touch it until tomorrow. Okay, well, I left it in overnight, and it was frozen solid, so I couldn't get the paddle in there. So I just got a plastic spoon and just moving it around. It looks pretty good. I tried it. It tastes really good. But I want to really see, if it works like it's supposed to. So I've got the other bowl chilled in the freezer. So I'm going to try that one after. I'm going to transfer this over into a container to save it. And then I'll make something else with the other container.